Today in this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about all the things that I've learned from my past year in 2022, how I'm going to be reflecting upon my lessons, upon the key learnings, and how I'm going to be implementing that in 2023 while keeping in mind my goals and vision for myself in 2023, which I want them to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound so that I make sure that I'm hitting the right targets in the right amount of time to be able to perceive my own likelihood of success on my goals this year. So let's get started with my goals and accomplishments from 2022 first. One of the biggest life events that happened in 2022 was me getting married to Preeti. We had been dating for a while, for a long time now, and being from Indian families, it's kind of challenging when you are in a relationship with someone, and especially if your marriage is not arranged, it's kind of hard for parents to kind of align with your thoughts. So one of the biggest accomplishments for me and Preeti in 2022 was to actually get our families together, have them celebrate our wedding together. That was just a huge milestone and accomplishment, I feel, in 2022. And even if nothing else happened, this alone would make up for the biggest successes. It just gave me such a peace of mind to be able to move forward with our life and do more things together and enjoy them with our families together as well, which was very important for us. The second one will be doing better as a software engineer at the company I work with. I delivered multiple full stack software projects that involved front-end development, back-end development with Java. I learned quite a bit of Kotlin and wrote code in Kotlin, and I also worked a lot with like databases, queries, and it was a challenging year, especially when you are working at a startup. You are your own requirement collector, your own architect for the solutions that you want to implement in code and for the products that you're working on and building. I learned a lot because when I was working with companies that were like larger in size and had systems and processes in place, there would be project managers and things like that to kind of like hold your hand, give you the requirements, and give you all the information beforehand for you to just have everything served to you and just be able to code and build things out without giving it much thought. But here it was quite challenging for me to actually collect all the requirement, design my own solution, and then implement that in code, which I think I did successfully. There were a lot of like problems and issues, but I became a better communicator. I reached out for help. I became better at dealing with my own ego and ask dumb questions, even if I felt stupid asking them. But just by asking them, it really helped me deliver my projects faster and get moving faster. And I'm proud of the work that I did this past year around software, especially because before that I was really hesitant about my skills, but this year I feel like I really honed in on them and learned a lot from the challenges that I faced while building on these projects and delivering these projects. Another thing I would like to say is that I got better at taking feedback. I definitely received some negative feedback about my work, but I didn't fuss about it. I internalized it, I thought about it, I processed that feedback, and I made the point to actually improve upon them in my life and in my work. And that paid off dividends, because when it comes to your own ego, getting past it is so important, guys, because if you don't feedback from the external world, there is no way you're going to be able to improve upon your own work, upon your own character, upon your own skill set, which is key to moving forward in life. So this is one of the biggest lessons for me, to receive feedback well from other people in an unbiased way without judging myself or the other person who's giving me feedback. The third one, like accomplishment that I'm proud of and has been really fun, is that Preeti and I got a chance to visit more than 4 countries. You know, we were in Dubai, and then we went to Mexico. We got a chance to be in Turkey, Istanbul. We then went to Bali, Indonesia in October, and then ended the year by visiting family, going to India and home. And all of these opportunities came from our work. Being digital professionals and being able to work remotely from anywhere in the world doesn't really affect us when we are traveling, which allows us to move freely. And since we don't have any offices and our entire team is distributed, we can be anywhere in the world to work and make things happen. It really gave us the opportunity to travel, meet interesting people, and have conversations, experience different cultures, food, and all of these experiences happen just in a matter of a year. I feel like I just grew so much from just traveling and like exploring the things that I like, the kind of places that I want to visit, the things that I don't like, the kind of places that I would not like to visit in the future. And all of that insight wouldn't have come to me if I didn't step out of my comfort zone to actually make the effort to travel and go around and things like that. The fourth one would be producing more content. I feel like I'm decent at producing content, and this is something that I really want to pursue more of. I delivered more videos on my YouTube, I created more content on Instagram, but this is also one of the failures that I faced this year, that I didn't really get consistent about creating content, which I'll be talking more about in a bit. But the content that I produced, I am pretty proud of, and I really enjoyed making videos for you guys, whether be it around software engineering, my lifestyle, the things that I learned around philosophy, psychology, the books that I really read and I'm passionate about reading and understanding, like my own personality, my own behaviors, and the world around me. I loved creating videos around those topics and sharing the knowledge that I learned with you guys, and I'll definitely be doing more of that in this year. The fifth thing I'm proud of is that I really stepped out of my comfort zone again to experiment with different business ideas. That is one thing that I really want to pursue, is having my own business and side hustle. And this year I took a chance on myself to create videos for other people and look into other business models that exist out there, be it drop shipping, be it Amazon FBA. I learned a lot around those areas, figured what is my cup of tea, what is not, what I would like to do and what I would not like to do. And this year was met with more failures than successes, but I feel like the biggest success from all the failures would be the learnings that I have received from experimenting around these ideas, which I would not have been able to do if I didn't really expose myself to all of these failures and understanding these different business models and getting more business savvy. I can't really say I'm still business savvy because I don't really have a real business yet, but I have built up the foundation and I kind of understand what goes into building a product, how to understand your customers better, how to serve them better, how to identify their problems, how to communicate with them to identify their problems better and then create solutions around them. So all of these fundamentals I have really internalized this year by listening to different podcasts, by listening to different people who are really excelling in this field, and I feel like I have a really good understanding of doing these things. And this year I'm going to experiment with more ideas and see how far I have come. Now let's talk about some of my challenges, some of my failures, things that I think I need to improve upon in 2023 to really move forward in life. I feel like one of my biggest challenges in 2022 was around consistency itself. Again, lack of action on my behalf, especially around the areas that I want to pursue next. Being a software engineer, it's kind of easy. I know the work, I understand the work, I know the kind of problems that are going to arise. I know when I'm going to sit down to code, I know when I have to be in meetings. So it's really easy for me to take action around being a software engineer because I've already formed that identity. I know what needs to happen on a regular basis for me to be successful at my work as a software engineer with the startup that I work with. But to be successful in my future pursuits or my current pursuit of being a better YouTuber, creating more meaningful content for you guys, I really have to bake that into my identity so that it can guide my action. And not having that clarity definitely was in the way of me taking action. This is something that I want to improve upon this year. I just want to get started on projects without thinking of the end result as much and how the things are going to be when I put them out. What I really want to focus on is taking action itself so that I can get feedback from my own work, what I'm liking, what I'm not. And the biggest thing is to build consistency and discipline around taking action, around the things that I'm not comfortable with yet. I've been trying to do YouTube for 2-3 years now. I've been filming here and there and have gotten better at it, but it still hasn't become my lifestyle yet. So when I create a video, I don't know how the audience is going to respond. My first video recently hit 10K and the next video I did after that only hit 300 views, and it really took a hit on my confidence, and I stopped filming and I stopped creating content. That is not something that is in my control though, but what is in my control is to again speak to the camera, create content, and actually put it out to see what is going to happen, which is all there is in my control. But for that, I have to actually experiment, fail regularly, fail more often, and actually get comfortable with that failure so that I can keep taking action regardless and get comfortable with that until I hit a point where I can see some results from the things that I'm pursuing now and I'm not comfortable with yet. So consistency is going to be a big theme for me in 2023, and I know what I need to be doing every single week. How do I structure my days to be consistent, to be in that environment, to be in that zone, to be able to deliver things, create things that I really want to do in 2023. The next challenge for me in 2022 was lack of clarity around what I wanted to pursue long term. I feel like you guys are probably in the same boat. A lot of you might be, a lot of you might really know for a fact that what you want to do in life is what you're doing right now, but I was not one of those people. There's a few skills that I've really gotten good at, be it software engineering, video production and understanding digital marketing. These are the things that I've kind of like experimented around with, have tried to create services around, and even have gotten successful clients and delivered work around these skills as well, which kind of led me to a lot of different paths that I could pursue for long term, you know. So software engineering being one of them, that I know I'm a software engineer. I actively work on writing code, solving problems, and I have my steady income coming from that field. But on the other hand, for the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I really know that I want to have my own business, but I really lacked clarity around if it was going to be a product, a digital product, or if it was going to be a service around digital marketing or doing content for other people, or be it video production, which I got a few projects around, and I did deliver really good quality like results, really good videos, you know, for clubs and things like that, which is why there was a really lack of clarity around what I wanted to pursue long term, which also created anxiety for me because I would keep starting something and then putting it off, and I wasn't really liking the fact that I was not being consistent again, because when you don't have a lack of clarity around the things that you want to pursue long term, it will bleed into the consistency itself, because then you will work off of impulse rather than your discipline. So I really worked a lot on getting clarity around what I want to pursue for the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, and which you will be seeing more of on this channel as I talk about those things in 2023 and beyond. I feel like having clarity around what you want to pursue, the skills you're good at, taking an account of that, and taking an account of how your own character is, the things that you enjoy, what are your beliefs around the work you want to do. When you look at other people, what are the kind of like things that you enjoy seeing in them? You have to take into account all of these things before you map out your vision for the next 2-3 years, where you don't have to be too particular, too specific, but you need to have some sort of vision to kind of like take action around so that you're moving somewhere. Because if you just keep sitting around for an idea to hit you, or for your vision to just kind of like come to you in one go, that never really happens. You have to actively work upon these things to get clarity around them. And one of the habits that I still do to this day, almost every single day, is journaling around how I felt about my work, how I felt about something that I read, or where my life is right now, to kind of map out the things that I want to do in the future. And it kind of gives me a good idea, a good roadmap, a good direction to kind of like follow and base my actions off of, so that I can like actually get feedback how I'm doing in my life right now, what are the things that I've learned from my past, and gather all of that feedback to map out my future and then take action around that. So these were some of the reflections from 2022, the challenges and things like that. Now let's talk about the areas I'm going to be focusing on the most in 2023. Even before I start to look into or think about my goals, I think about the areas that I want to improve upon. You know, for the past few years, it was health and fitness, then it was getting better at software engineering, and from there I built out specific goals that I could, you know, measure, track, get better at. If it was health and fitness, you know, tracking some lifts or on deadlifts and things like that, watching those numbers go up was a great way to kind of track my goal and create my goals around it itself. But this year, the first area that I want to focus on is getting better at software engineering itself and becoming a better problem solver. This is something that I can rely upon, that I'm good at, but I want to get better at so that I can like build more complex projects. The next area that I want to like get better at in my life right now is content creation, doing more content for YouTube and Instagram. As you can see, there's a theme. Like the things that I really struggle with, the challenges that I face next year are going to be the key areas that I'm going to be focusing on this year so I can get better at that. There might be things that I have started in the past, but then I'll take into account all the feedback that I've received around those things, and I'll form concrete goals around them so that I can pursue them harder this year. So the next challenge, as I said, was around content creation. So I'm going to have a huge amount of focus and attention going into content creation this year. The next area I want to focus on in my life right now is to hire and delegate and be able to train other people to take stuff off of my plate. I'm only one person. I cannot be writing code for a startup. I cannot be also producing content, communicating with you guys on different platforms. So I really need to hire people, train them, and I can delegate tasks to them so that they can help me create more value for you guys. And without building a team, I don't see that happening, because I'm just going to be spreading myself out thin. I won't be able to perform well in software engineering. I won't be able to create better content here. So I really need the help. And for that, I need to attract the talent around me so that I can shape them into a team that can help me create better things. So that is another area that I really want to focus on this year. And the first thing I think I'm going to hire for is going to be a video editor that I can outsource my production to. I will still be editing a lot of my own videos, but I really need help in this area so that I can create more content around the things that I learn and share with you guys. The fifth area that I want to focus on is building key relationships offline. I work online a lot, so I have a really good relationship with people that I work with online, and I create content online. So I have a really good community already that I kind of engage with, talk to, help, or seek help from. But last year, I kind of started focusing on building an offline community now that I'm in Toronto, and I know that I'm going to be in Toronto. Before I was here, I was kind of moving around in the US. I was in Michigan, then I was in Chicago, and I didn't really know where I was going to go next. But now that I know that my home base is going to be Toronto, I really want to focus on creating key relationships and having a community of like people offline around me that inspire me, that motivate me, that I can help them out with something, and there can be a community that, you know, relies upon each other, learn from each other, and grow along with those people in my life. So I really want to create a community of like 5 to 10 core people that I respect, that are my peers or my mentors that I can learn from and gain life experiences from in an offline setting. Now, the last thing after doing all of this reflection is when I actually think about the vision for this year and the goal for me in 2023. So the first, software engineering, I want to deliver at least one big full stack project every quarter. So that makes up 4 big projects, and I'm not talking about little things like email automations and doing things that just kind of like take the business from 1 to 1.1, but more like things that I'm going to be building to take the business from 0 to 1 and building full stack features. So I'm going to focus each quarter to build one big project that I can be proud of. Other than that, I'm going to be focusing more on communicating. Since most of my work is online, I need to be a better communicator online, and that is one of my goals. I'm going to be measuring that by looking into how effective I'm being at communication, by gaining feedback from other people, talking to them, and understanding if I'm being available, if I'm accountable or not. I don't really know yet how I'm going to be doing this, but this is something that I really want to be able to get better at. Second thing that I want to be good at, and my goal is to do content better. So for this, the specific goals that I'm going to be measuring is 1 video per week for you guys on this YouTube channel, 3 to 4 pieces of like video content on my Instagram. So this is something that I can control. The production part I can control. I don't really control the amount of followers or the amount of views that I get. So I'm going to hold myself accountable to the things that I can produce on a weekly basis. So I have very simple goals for this year, guys. And I know it's something not very extravagant that I'm going to be making this much money and I'm going to be getting this many followers, because those are the metrics that I'm not going to be focusing on at all this year. Last year, I made decent amount of money, and I'm pretty sure this year I'm going to be making a good amount of money as well. But what I want to focus more on is the things that I control, not the factors outside that lie outside my circle of control, which is why my goals might sound simple, and that's how I'm going to be keeping it. And this is what I suggest to you guys before you start your year of 2023. Take into account your past successes from 2022. Think about the challenges that you might have faced, the key areas that you need to improve upon, the skills that you need to learn. Think about your own character, your own beliefs, your own value system. What are the things that you need improvement in? And from there, chart out a vision for yourself in 2023. And then from there, pick on the goals that you want to hit this year. And that's how I would suggest anyone to go about creating a vision for themselves and creating a set of goals for themselves in 2023 so that you can be successful. That's all I wanted to share with you guys in this video. I hope you found some value in this, and I really suggest to you go on a self-reflection journey. Think about the things that are going on in your head. Think about the things that you want to manifest in your life in this next year, and go pursue them. Don't wait another minute. Take that first step, build that momentum, and gain confidence from taking action, guys, to make the things happen that you want to by the end of this year. I wish you good luck and happy new year and all the best on your pursuits this year. All right, we'll catch you guys in the next video.